Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Eliza Thorne claims her bees were killed when she rented her hives to the defendant for his orchard. Victor Lazaro says the aggressive bees were stinging his employees, so he had to remove them from his property.
I see I've got Eliza Thorne here for my plaintiff and Mr. Victor Larzo as the defendant. Ms. Thorne, you are suing the defendant for $1,500. What brings you to court today?
This gentleman over here did not comply with the agreement, the written agreement that we had, and killed my bees during process that he took under his, I don't know, he just tried to make something up and remove the bees from the premises without proper care.
So that we are clear, you are a beekeeper.
Yes.
And you're accusing the defendant here of killing how many bees?
200,000.
200,000 bees. Oh my goodness, that would make him a mass bee murderer.
Yes.
Okay. But I understand these things can be very expensive. So that is why you were in court today, $1,500 for breach of contract. Tell me the nature of this agreement between you and Mr. Lazaro.
Oh, okay. So I met him through my uncle. They go to school together to learn Portuguese, and I actually had all my hives and other farms, but he asked for help, and I decided to take some of my hives from other farmers to give to him.
Now, would you consider that a favor, Ms. Thorne? Did you do that because of the family relationship?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a stretch because I had to pull the hives from the other farmers. Yes. So yes, it was.
A little bit, okay.
Yes.
And Mr. Lazaro, let me ask you, is it true that this would have been a benefit to you to have these bees on your property?
Her uncle asked me for the favor to give her the opportunity because in my orchard, we don't do like mimics or quick fixes. We do very traditionally, very conservative because it has been given, you know, generation through generation. So I was giving her the opportunity to be known.
Eliza isn't just raising bees for fun, this is serious agriculture, folks. Beekeeping is a critical part of crop production, and moving hives from other farms was a favor one that cost her. She risked existing client relationships for a family connection. That's not just generosity, it's a business gamble. You can feel her frustration already. Would you take that risk to help a friend of a relative?
And she guaranteed me that it was not going to be no complications for my normal operation.
Okay, and your normal operation, just so the court is clear, is you have an apple orchard?
Orchard, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's how you make your money?
Yes, Your Honor.
But what is important here is that you did reach a binding agreement.
Yes.
You guys had a contract. Let me see, give all of your evidence, please, to Elijah, and let me review all of this material. You can give him the whole folder, ma'am.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, dear. I'm looking at a contract between the two parties. This is called a pollination service agreement. Now, I am not an expert on these things, Ms. Thorne. What is pollination? Tell me what that is.
Basically, what bees do, they land on one flower and the other flower, and they mix male and female parts together. So this pollination can happen, bringing more flowers and more trees.
You, sir, agreed to pay $700. Yes, for her bee pollination services. Now, this is what's important. There is a clause here, ladies and gentlemen in the court, that says hive care and non-disturbance clause. It says that you as the client, sir, shall not move, tamper, or spray, or dig around, or otherwise disturb the 200,000 bees in the beehives. And it does say any unauthorized movement or removal of hives is considered willful damage and will result in full replacement cost and loss of use fees. Now, I know you have a defense argument, but I just wanted everybody to be aware of that clause is here. But it also says that bees are living creatures, as we know, and they may sting if provoked. The client assumes responsibility for ensuring safety guidelines. That would be you, sir. It says that you, though, may request the early removal of hives in writing. The provider, that would be you, ma'am, must be given 48 hours notice to remove them safely. So you were aware, ma'am, that there could be a scenario in which you would be responsible for removal.
Yes.
Okay, and you agreed, because I see you both have signed here. Money was paid, and it does say that you, sir, would be responsible for $200 per colony. What's a colony, ma'am?
Colony is one of those boxes where we put the bees to take the hive.
Okay, so if you do have to replace that, you would pay $200 per colony, and you agreed, and you signed.
This
And you
one?
signed?
Yes, I signed.
Yes.
Okay.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
If a bee leaves the colony and goes all the way across the farm, it's because something is happening.
So
like bees
it's
are
about protocol.
really busy. So they are
Wait,
always
I'm so sorry. You said bees are what, darling?
busy.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with Eliza Thorne, who brought Victor Lazaro to court for destroying her beehives.
Let's take a look at what this looked like before. Okay, so this is beautiful, sir. These are your grounds. These are your, beautiful. Let's see what the after effect is here. Now, let me turn to you, Mr. Lazaro. What am I seeing here?
Yes, what happened over there is that during the crisis and after notifying to her by phone and asking for help, we spent like 4 days of crisis.
You said crisis. What is the crisis? What's the problem? What led to this?
Bees attacking customers, human beings. I have the proofs over here, the pictures, customers and employees.
Put everything, sir, in the folder and
Yes.
give this to my bailiff. Elijah, bring that up to me.
Yes.
So now
Thank
this
you,
is
sir.
starting to make a little bit more sense as to why we're in court.
Now things are heating up. Victor says a crisis unfolded as workers and even customers were getting stung. That included a pregnant woman who developed an infection. Photos of stings? Submitted. Incident reports? Submitted. Legally speaking, if lives are at risk and safety is compromised, even airtight contracts can become flexible under public hazard laws. But the question remains, did he try hard enough to follow the agreed process, or did he panic and act impulsively?
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Okay, you've also got the contract. Now let's look at, okay, just before we move on from this though, I'm seeing all these bees. Is this them being removed? What are we watching here?
Yes, after the attacks, we tried to approach the hives, but they were attacking, so we used a machine to move the boxes, the hives, and unfortunately, 2 of those failed. It was an accident.
Oh, so this is damage,
Yes.
and now everything's destroyed. And you're telling and you're showing me pictures, ladies and gentlemen, that I am looking at of these horrific bee stings. And people were getting stung. I mean, gosh, this looks really bad, left and right. So you had to do something about this?
Yes.
Because you were responsible for their safety.
Yes, it was not just one day, it was several days. And one
Okay.
of those pictures, the person got infected also.
Oh, no.
It was pregnant, and so it's very difficult situation.
Oh, my gosh. And did you end up having to cover the medical expenses?
Oh, yeah, we are covering everything.
Okay, okay. So this is the incident report, I see, sir, that you
Yes.
filled out, and you conveyed this to the plaintiff?
Both of those reports. Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, Miss Thorne, did you receive these reports?
I did, yes.
Okay. Just so everyone knows what we're looking at, this is you documenting, sir, the stinging situations.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
When you saw this, what was your reaction, ma'am?
I called him immediately and I offered him to go to the premises and train again his staff because we saw in other farms, I've been doing this for 25 years, and if a bee leaves the colony and goes all the way across the farm, it's because something is happening.
So
like
you're
bees
talking
are
about
really beesy. So they are always
Wait, I'm so sorry. You said bees are what, darling?
beesy.
Be easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They work all the time. So they
Oh.
are not going to cross the farm just to sting someone. So
So you're saying they were provoked?
yes. So it was at first one bee, according to him, and one sting. Then I told him I'm going to get there and I'm going to retrain everybody to make sure that all the safety procedures are being followed.
Okay,
because this
let me
is
stop you there, Ms.
unusual.
Thorne. Mr. Lazaro, what do you say to that? What do you say to her accusation that these bees would have been just fine but for a lack of training on your people's part?
Eliza makes a bold claim. If procedures were followed, the bees wouldn't have stung anyone. She even offered to train Victor's staff, insisting the bees must have been provoked. But Victor fires back. It was chaos, and training wasn't going to help in the moment. What do you think? Should Victor have waited for Eliza to respond? Or did the safety of his team justify immediate action? Tell us in the comments, Team Eliza or Team Victor?
Yes, when I called, it was a crisis moment, and she was offering training. So at the crisis moment, you need solutions because we have human beings there.
Okay.
And we encounter on those remainings of bees, not just the bees that she indicated she owned. We find other bees. So the provocation of her bees, not necessarily was our fault. There is a lot of natural other bees around there, but the contract says about maintenance.
Yes.
And the maintenance should involve processes of precaution because other bees exist by nature. We have other bees in the orchard normally.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this because you're being very diplomatic here, sir. But what you're really telling this court is that her bees were provoked by human nature's other bees that exist in the environment.
Yes,
What do you have to say about that, Ms. Thorne?
That if he has no control about the bees that he eventually has, how can he affirm that my bee was the first one to attack someone? Like, if the procedures were being followed as instructed, the hives would be all closed and the bees would not be flying around. So that's why I wanted to go again through the contract, as you saw in the item number 6.
Yes.
The first thing that I put there, do not move because it's not safe.
Right, but when he contacted you, ma'am, to let you know that despite what we agreed to, people are now being harmed, and even one of them a pregnant woman that led to bad infection.
Yes.
So you agree something needed to be done.
Yeah, the first call was one sting, and that's the solution that I gave him. Can I go there and assess the situation and train your team?
But so did she come and do the training?
No, because she offered training, not
And you needed
assessment or solution.
Okay, I understand. All right. So did you offer to compensate her in any way?
About this incident, I gave it $300.
Okay. Did he give you $300, ma'am?
He offered me $300, but as the contract says, this is his liability because he did not act as he was supposed to.
But wait a minute, ma'am. Wait a minute. It says, any unauthorized movement or removal is considered willful damage and result in full replacement costs. What was your full replacement cost, ma'am?
$1,500.
So that's how much this costs to replace?
Yeah, the cost of all the hives, the colonies, and the time that I'll need to take to remove everything, try to repair what I can, it's going to be at least $1,500.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
And it's sounding like you were being so reliant and a bit rigid on the contract that you were ignoring the urgency of people being stung by your bees in real time.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with Eliza Thorne, who brought Victor Lazaro to court for destroying her beehives.
What do you say about the fact that $300 does not come close to those costs? What was the $300 representative for you? What did you think you were paying for?
It was the same goodwill that I had by hiring her, but if we go to public hazards that these bees were causing to human beings, there are codes in this county, the 8.08.60, that when there's a public hazard,
yes,
we have the authority to abate that hazard without the intervention of the civil authorities. So we have humans, we have a pregnant woman.
Yes.
I asked her to go earlier. We waited 4 days, and she says she was gonna go on Monday. What about all the incidents and the risk for the weekend, because we were there on the weekend?
Okay, let me ask you something, Ms. Thorne, because now I'm getting a little bit confused here. Despite the contract, we understand the contract, we call it the four corners document in the law, everything that you're bound by is on this paper, right? But then there's also real life, right? What he's saying, which is starting to sound compelling to this court, is that despite what you all agreed to in writing on paper,
Judge Eboni hits the nail on the head. Contracts are the law, but real life isn't black and white. She's pointing out the danger of over-relying on paperwork when real-world emergencies demand fast thinking. Even with a signed clause, can we truly blame someone for protecting lives? This is where legal theory meets emotional reality, and this courtroom drama just got deep.
injuries were happening in real time. And it's sounding like you were being so reliant and a bit rigid on the contract that you were ignoring the urgency of people being stung by your bees in real time. Why, after the first bee sting incident, did you not go over and remove your own bees?
I tried going there, and the first situation would be really to retrain.
Not training, ma'am. If you talk about this training one more time. Ain't
Your
nobody
Honor.
talking about the training at this point,
Your
ma'am.
Honor.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I act at that point. The first thing, I try to have what you don't want me to answer.
Girl, I'm about to say,
but
ma'am, if you talk about this training one more time.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with Eliza Thorne, who brought Victor Lazaro to court for destroying her beehives.
If it were me, and I had been doing this for 25 years, which makes you an expert in your field,
Yeah.
right? And someone says to me, Miss Williams, Judge, we know we had good intentions.
Bees are bee. Honeybee, that unexpected quote just lightened the mood. But Judge Eboni is not letting it distract from the facts. She's pressing Eliza hard. Why didn't you act faster? Training talk aside, she had a chance to prevent the second incident, but she didn't show up in time. It's the kind of hesitation that judges and juries remember. Have you ever delayed action because you were sticking too hard to rules?
But it's not working out as we expected. If you don't come now, I am going to be forced to activate the removal clause in our contract, and that might require us both to incur expenses. Why did you not act at that point, ma'am?
I act at that point. The first thing, I try to have what you don't want me to answer.
Girl, I'm about to say,
but
ma'am, if you talk about this training one more time, go ahead.
It's just because his idea was to relocate the hives. And again, if people are not taking care of following the procedures, no matter where the hives are going to be, they're going to be a problem. So when the second case happened, I told him, I'm going to go there and I'm going to remove it.
And then what? But you're saying that you. So okay. So she finally decides that she's going to come and remove her bees because it's a problem.
Yes.
Why wasn't she able to do that? Were they already removed?
The second incident happened on the 12th, and she was promising to go on Monday, the 14th.
Oh, so it's too long. So too long.
thing.
Delay. Okay. I think I've heard enough. Thank you both very much for everything you've shared.
It's also in the contract that I needed 48 hours
Ms. Thorne,
exactly.
okay, I understand. I'm very clear now as to what I'm dealing with. Okay, thank you both for submitting your evidence to the court. Here's where I'm ruling.
Judge Ebony's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Everything that we are bound by is contained within the four corners of these documents, signed, dated, and subscribed to. But I believe that I'm hearing from you, Madam Plaintiff, that your over-reliance on certain terms, that it blinded you from the ability to see that real lives are in danger here. So while I can appreciate your professional reliance and adherence to the terms in which you signed and both agreed to, I must say that I am very compelled by the argument Mr. Lazaro is making that somebody had to take action here. I am actually going to rule in your favor, but not for the $1,500 that you're asking for, because I do not believe that this man's precise and urgent response to what could have been life or death for human beings deserves to be penalized. I'm going to hold him accountable for the $300 of goodwill offering that he originally offered you. So I rule in favor of the plaintiff for $300, but the rest of this is literally on you, ma'am. That is my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff.
So what did we learn from this buzzing courtroom showdown? Legally, Eliza had the paperwork. Emotionally, she had a right to be upset. But Victor had the moral urgency, protecting lives amid chaos. Judge Eboni threads a needle. She awards $300 to Eliza, not the $1,500 she wanted, but enough to acknowledge the broken agreement. It's a lesson in contracts, consequences, and common sense. Backhand index pointing right. If you found this case as jaw-dropping as we did, make sure to like, drop your opinions in the comments, and subscribe for more sharp, dramatic courtroom breakdowns. More justice, more drama, and more real talk right here on this channel.